I am Kristen Davis, and I am a bartender here at Sportsman's Lodge. This is my husband.
I'm Josh Davis, and I am the kitchen manager at One Century Place for Sodexo.
And this is Claire. She is almost 2 years old. When I was 20 months pregnant, we found out that not only did Claire have Down syndrome, that she was going to have a pretty severe heart defect called an AVSD. Basically, it meant she had three major holes in her heart and some valve issues.
Mitral valve leakage.
Mitral valve leakage. So we knew ahead of time that after she was born, that she was going to have open heart surgery as an infant. So Claire came early. She was only she came at 35 weeks and was only 3 pounds 14 ounces. And she spent 6 weeks in the NICU. In her first 2 weeks of life, she started going into heart failure because of her heart defect. So we treated her heart failure symptoms all the way up until she had her open heart surgery at 3 months old to repair the holes in her heart. And at her 6-month pediatric checkup, we did some tests because I noticed some symptoms, and those tests came back, and she ended up being diagnosed with leukemia. So she had acute myeloid leukemia, and we caught it very early, so we were able to wait about 6 months before starting treatment to let her get bigger and stronger for chemo. So right after her first birthday, we started a 7-month chemo treatment that involves 6 rounds of chemo, mostly all inpatient. The acute myeloid leukemia, like she had, is a very aggressive form of leukemia, so it has to be treated very aggressively with very intense chemotherapy.
And it was super stressful.
Another difficult thing with both of our jobs, for the most part, was that if we're not at work, we're not making money. And so missing shifts wasn't always an option, and having to cut back on our shifts was difficult, but we had to do what we had to do to take care of her. But that's one of the harder things about being in the restaurant industry and having a sick child, is that when you have to take off or you have a family emergency like that, you just don't make money. When we first found out about CORE and learned that it was for people in the restaurant and food and beverage industry that had children with life-threatening illness, it was funny to us that there was something so specific to our family that could help us. You sometimes kind of feel like you're this oddball, that you don't have these 9-to-5 jobs and with the benefits of other companies. And so to find that there's an organization that's solely for this purpose was amazing. At Christmas time, CORE showered Claire with gifts.
An otherwise extremely difficult time, being stuck in the hospital, staying Christmas Eve, sleeping in the hospital, Christmas Day. If you got a chance to go and hang out with your family, it wasn't the same because your child is in the hospital and you guys stepped in, and it felt like a semblance of a Christmas for her.
To have an organization step in and bring you so much joy and such specific things that we needed, such as CORE gave us an iPad, and I don't know how we would have survived the whole experience without that iPad, because the days that she didn't feel like playing with anything because she felt so bad, we could always pull that out and play her favorite shows or play on her games, and it would entertain her when nothing else would take her mind off of feeling bad.
Also helps with her motor skills and the games and her development, and a lot of her therapists use them, and so that gives us a leg up, something that we otherwise wouldn't be able to get on our own. It's hard, especially myself being male, to sometimes admit that you need help. And you guys came through for us at a time that was, it's almost indescribable. So many people and so many things came out of the woodwork, and so many opportunities presented themselves, and this was one of the biggest. And I guess that I can't describe how much it means and how much that it helped when you're in such a situation like this that, you know, you don't know if you're coming home with your kid or not, you know. Fortunately, we got to, but I would just like to sincerely say thank you so much for your organization and all of your hard work.